Thanks for stopping by the Surge T channel. I am Surge T, and in this video, I will be giving my recap and my thoughts on episode 21 of The Walking Dead season 11. And this one is titled Outpost 22. And I love how, despite being apart at times, sometimes these familiar characters that we come to love, they always come together. Doesn't matter the differences they have, doesn't matter what they've gone through. They know that in the end they're family. I love that when they realize that Outpost 22 was once their home, was once Alexandria. Maggie capped it when she said, "We got to get our kids back. We gotta take back our home. We gotta make things right. We gotta make it right," something like that. You know, they went through a lot. They were separated, and at least these guys were in pairs. At least they had somebody to have at their side. I mean, we saw that they were all kidnapped. They all had sacks over their head, and they were being injected to stay out, to be stayed, kept knocked out, and everything like that. We see a daring break, an escape by Maggie and Gabriel, was and Rosita, and we see them. You know, oh, and who else? Who else was with them in that breakaway? But we see Maggie. Her hands were tied behind her back, but she was able to cut the restraints away. Then she's able to cut Gabriel's restraints and cut Rosita's restraints. And then they jump out of the back of the Jeep. Out goes Rosita, out goes Gabriel. Maggie's about to go out, but one of the Commonwealth soldiers grabs her, and they struggle with a weapon, assault rifle, and they end up shooting and killing the driver to the point where his helmet got shot off, because when you see the aftermath, his head's like up against the steering wheel and there's no helmet on it. But I guess that would happen if you got your head shot at with the thing. It's not going to keep the thing on. And if that's the case, he has some pretty faulty what do I call it, non-workable headgear, right? You would think that if they got shot in the head, then it would at least deflect the bullet. But I guess because it was an assault rifle, I guess you shoot off enough rounds, it's going to split the damn thing in two and leave you vulnerable for a headshot. But when we see that, what happens is that Maggie and they're separated from Gabriel and Rosita. Gabriel and Rosita, I mean, especially Rosita, she is determined to to get her daughter back. Gabriel's trying to talk her out of it in the sense that, not about that, but it's just the fact that he's trying to keep her from going blindly into a pretty much a trap. I mean, a place where she's likely going to get caught. Maggie is trying to hide on her own, but she's trying to hide from the soldiers who are out there looking for, uh, you know, any escapees, right? We see Daryl and Carol. They are making plans to intercept the train, and this is how they reunite with Rosita and Gabriel, because Rosita and Gabriel see the train and they're off to look for it. We see Maggie struggling with a zombie child. She sees this zombie child and she just lets it go by her. She doesn't want to do anything to it. She doesn't want to kill that child I mean, it's a zombie, of course, but she's reminded by about Herschel, and she struggles to kill it. But then when one of when she's hiding, she's like in a ditch. Here comes a Commonwealth soldier following after her. You see the kid come back, the zombie kid, and you see the soldier take aim, looking to take that zombie child out, and then you see her stab him underneath his armpit or around a rib cage right here. Very vulnerable part. He's gonna bleed out. He's on the ground, and in comes the kid, and the kid just goes right on top of her, like right on, just like that, just like that. Right, she's right there. She's holding him back, and then she spins him around, and she's holding on to him like you would hold a child, you know. And as you can see, what I liked about that is that you saw her maternal instincts kick in, even though the child is dead. I mean, the child is just a walking dead. It's this, it's a zombie. There's no, childlike innocence in it no more. And she basically says, "I'm sorry," and she stabs the zombie in the head and puts the kid out of its misery. I mean, I'm glad that it happened because it's like that's no way for anybody to continue to live on. Why do you think when we see some of our heroes meet their fate, or by way of being bit, and they know that they're going to turn to a zombie, and they're like, "Let me, just kill me, just take me out," you know? Like Andrea, remember she was Carl, of course. Carl, Rick gave him a gun, and you hear the shot when him and Michonne walk out. You know, nobody wants that, right? And I can understand why she did that. I can understand why she hesitated. It's pretty difficult to be worrying about your child, and then you see a zombie child wandering around on its own. So she's almost like she could think that that's why what's wrong with what's up, that's what's up with Herschel, but Herschel's definitely with the other kids, but she doesn't know that for sure. When she was struggling with the guy, she takes out the zombie kid, and then Daryl and Carol show up in the jeep, and they pick her up, and then we see Maggie and Carol have a tender moment. They talk about how back in the old days, before everything happened, especially Carol was saying that she said that those two would not have talked, they wouldn't have gotten along, they wouldn't have even met, you know. But Carol saying that, but over the years and over, time, they become family. Then Maggie's trying to hold it in, you could see, but then she starts crying. And she really is pining, and she really is longing for her child. She really wants to be with Herschel. She wants to reunite with her father's namesake. You know what I mean? And but that was a very good moment. I love that. I think that you know, just two of my favorite characters. I mean, I like everybody. I really do when it comes to all these characters. But we have our favorites, sure. But I like Maggie, and if you look at Maggie, and if you look at Carol, those two are probably amongst the characters that have really changed. Look how they were when they started. Yeah, you could tell Maggie was very, very headstrong. I mean, she rebuffed uh, Glenn's advances. Like Glenn was trying to, just trying to flirt with her, trying to, get to know her, and she would always just, okay, let's, she says, okay, let's do it. Like, have sex and all that stuff, right? And it's like finally giving it to me, but then she's come along, and she's like a leader. She's like somebody that you would definitely want. As the saying goes, you want that person in the foxhole with you. And then look at Carol, how far she's come along. She she was like a timid, uh, kept wife. Husband was just smacking her around and beating her every time, and in the front of everybody. You know. And then some of the guys, they're getting annoyed with that dude, especially like Shane and Rick and all those guys. Like they're seeing this happening, even the women too. And then you know she then goes from that to how she is now. Like she takes charge too. She's like a leader too. She knows what needs to be done. You got to be nonsense. You got to be no nonsense, I should say. You got to be tough. You can't let your emotions get to you. There's a situation happening. You can't second guess it. You know. So these two are most of my favorite characters. Maybe Carol, maybe I would say Carol maybe is my favorite character because I just like her story arc and I like how she has changed so much. But I like the fact that they put these two together because they're very alike. Even though they say that they're two different people, they probably wouldn't have communicated or even said hi to each other or even acknowledge each other in the old world. And here they are bonding, and here they are sharing a tender moment and crying. And then you hear Rosita go, Carol, she yells out, or Maggie, or whatever she said, but she yelled out one of their names, and then in comes Maggie, in comes Gabriel, they all embrace, and Rosita's like, where's Daryl? And she's like, oh, he's inside. He's talking to the guy that Maggie stabbed, and he's dying. He's bleeding out because where she stabs him. They do that to everybody pretty much when they're trying to take on the soldiers, and it's because it's a weak part of the thing. The armor, there's no armor there, but you hit them right there too. Same thing, same in the same sentence. It's a very very vulnerable part, and also the guy was bleeding out. Trying to get him, Daryl's trying to get him to tell them what is the what is that? What was the thing? The second something. That's where he took Connie, right? The second. God, what was it called? But that's where what he wanted to know because, as we know, the relationship between and how close they are between Connie and Daryl. Telling the guy, yeah, where is this at? Where is this? And he wasn't really like being an asshole or anything, or he wasn't trying to like not tell him, but you know he feels a loyalty to them, right? Commonwealth. But then Gabriel does recognize him and says, I recognize you. You're the back pew towards the exit. You come in late, then you leave early. And the guy admits that he wanted to confess because I guess he just doesn't like living that life that this is the life of a soldier. He seems like to be a guy who's a very religious guy, a very, very God-fearing guy. And he even tells Gabriel to pray for him, pray with him, stay with him until he's gone, until his life is has left him. And I like the there's that we'll leave that and then let's talk about Negan and Ezekiel, right? His wife Annie and Kelly, and they are taken to a quarry or something like that where they're going to earn their keep. And according to the warden guy, this dude, to make life better for the people in Commonwealth, because he's trying to tell them that you're going to be you're going to be forced into this forced labor thing, but it's going to be for the betterment. Feel good about yourself because you are doing this blah blah blah. Like he's trying to make it thing, but then like it seemed like it's okay, and then like when they're told you guys don't have names, don't talk to each other, don't address each other by your names. You are nothing here. You're working your way up. And talk about your kids. Well, if you do the right thing, you'll be able to see your kids. Negan goes up to one of the soldiers and asks about his wife, and he gets a smack across the face. Later on, when he's talking to Ezekiel, he has a bruise right here, purple. And sometimes you forget, but his saviors killed the kingdom people. A lot of the kingdom people, that Ezekiel was their leader, and so he's kind of like not. He hasn't really reconciled with the fact that maybe Negan's different now, and that he has to kind of trust him and get past that. But well, how could you pass that? Right? How can you get past that when that's something that affected Ezekiel? He loved his people. He was a beloved leader, if you all remember, right? And he wants to get him to side with him so that they can enact a plan to get out of there. They know they can't run because 3 people were killed trying to run. I mean, Kelly wanted to run. Ezekiel was he was like very, very, he's very, very like, he knows what to do. He's very like, his mind is very, very like, what's the word? But he's like, he's not quick to act. He knows to think it out, and and when those 3 people got killed, got shot by the soldiers, he's kind of looking at Kelly like, see, that's why I don't want you to run. We got to think about this. We got to think this through. Later on, when they, after lunch, they were told, okay, get back to work, and then, you know, those three come back to life. They're zombies now, and then they get taken out, put out of their zombie misery, and so they're going to do that. They're going to try to enact their plan. Um, I don't know. Did Annie tell those guys that she was expecting? I mean, they probably won't make her work too hard, but then again, they probably don't care. You know, they even realize that the warden is working on fear, right? He's using that to take control of his soldiers and of the people there. And Negan says, "Yeah, well, I know how to. I know that's what he's doing. He's the one that brought it up. He knows how to do that, right? We all know. We all know how he likes to work on people's fears. He likes to, you know, manipulate people. And it's like that. So the thing that's connected to that is when you see the follow up, the scenes, right? The scenes that are going to for the next episode. We do see Eugene trial. We see a shocked look in Max's face. Don't know if it's just because he was found guilty. We see a little bit of that, and then we see Ezekiel looking like he's talking to the soldiers and pretty much assuring them that, hey, if you guys do it this way, we can, you know, he's just trying to convince them or talking to him. I mean, you hear him talking, then you see him right in front of him. There's some soldiers in the background. So I think he's kind of convinced them that, hey, this guy's trying to manipulate you. He's trying to make you do things that you don't want to do. So it's like that one soldier that talked to Gabriel, the one that was dying, and you could tell he didn't want to have anything to do with it. He had kids, he's had a family or something like that. And speaking of that, there's that conductor guy where they wanted him to tell them, about what's going on and where are their kids and everything. They just wanted to know. He didn't want to tell them because he said, if you kill me, if I tell you, they'll find out. They'll kill my wife. They'll kill my kids. He had I don't know what that was, maybe a crowbar or something up against his neck. And he says, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. And then he just stabs himself. And he falls forward. And then you see as he falls down, it just comes out up the back of his neck. And he's dead. He tells them that there's a map as to where this train can take them and where the whereabouts of, and I believe that's when they, found out that. Oh, and then also I like the fact that Rosita was able to get the coordinates of where to go because she pretended to be. There was a female Commonwealth soldier, so she pretended to be that soldier, saying that she's hurt. She's the last one left. Um, you know, something like that, to where she knew where to go. She knew. And the one thing about it though is that she got coordinates and directions to a place they needed to go. I'm pretty sure that's where the kids were. I'm pretty sure that's where I always keep forgetting the name of that thing. What's that? Oh, Outpost 22. you know. And yeah, so she was able to do that, and it was giving them all these different directions. You go south, go into the thing, you see this road. Then once you get to a certain place, there's a what do you call it here, and then you turn there and all this stuff. And I'm just like going, the only thing that I would have remembered, because I'm not really great at directions. I use MapQuest. I use that, and I would have known. I would just remembered, going to the. I'm about to be getting this wrong. Go in the forest and then go north, and then you'll go on a rough road, and then that's it. I wouldn't have remembered that. But Rosita's like, yes, I know. Yep, I got it. She's probably got a photographic memory, so she probably remembered. Me, I wouldn't. I'd be like, yeah, can you guys remember this? Can you guys take this down in your head? I can't remember. Then they don't have pen and paper. They don't have phones. They don't have thing that they can write it down in their notes and everything. You know what I mean? So so there's that, and then they're going to be on their way because the sole mission for these heroes of ours is they're going to get their kids back. You don't even care about their lives. They don't even care about the danger. They're just like, oh, we got to get the kids back. And then when they find out, like I said at the end, when they find out that the what do you call it, the so for some reason I can't remember Outpost 22. I gotta keep remembering that. It's like I keep having to look at the notes. I know my thing there. Outpost 22, right? So I said I lost my train of thought, But like I said, this episode was had a lot going for it. I really enjoyed it. I liked just them really as soon as they came together. I'm talking about Maggie and Rosita, Gabriel, Daryl, Carol. Uh, they came together, and then when they realized that they were in Alexandria, their determination is now they got to get their kids back, they got to take their home back, and they got to make things right. And Maggie says that Milton is not going to see them coming. They're just not going to see it coming. So they're going to go in there ninja style and make things right. Negan and Ezekiel, a lot of work to be done there in regards to their trust. But Ezekiel did say that, yeah, I'm in it with you. I'm in it. Like he's gonna go along with them because they gotta work it out. You know, he doesn't know that Negan has changed. You gotta forget that they haven't been together. Those two characters have not been together for a while now. Maggie's kind of gone ahead of it. Gotten ahead of her, wanting to have to take revenge and kill him. And stuff like that for what he did to Glenn. She's got a change of heart somewhat. But then you see, those two, and then of course they're with Annie, and of course they're with Kelly. So it's like they got their thing going. They got escape still. Maggie and them are in the clear, even though they definitely got to look over their shoulders. But they're in the clear. They got everybody. They got their group together, and they're heading towards. They're out there. And they're going to go. They're going to go and retrieve the kids. And do whatever. Now everything else that they have to do. And then you got Negan and them. They still got to enact a plan to get out of there, so that they can be in the clear. And then they're probably going to go to the same place, and they might all come together, and then we're going to have a all-out battle, a fight for Alexandria, right, to get it back. But like I said, I enjoyed this episode. I think I was watching this episode and I go, they're going to go out with a bang, definitely, and it's going to make you miss this show even more. I know I am going to. But like I always say in these videos, yeah, we got the spin-offs, we got the things coming along, where we can still see some of the characters continuing on in their journey. It just makes me wonder the ones that aren't going to be in those shows, are they going to pop in there as cameos, or are all of them going to be gone and we're just going to see the ones that have those spin-off shows? Daryl and Rick, Michonne, and Negan and Maggie. And the one thing I always thought about is that it's like it's going to be just Maggie and Negan. So is something going to happen to Annie? Is she going to lose her baby and she's going to lose her life? I don't know. I had a pretty warped thing where I'm thinking that probably the baby's going to die and then be a zombie. I know it's brutal. It's going to rip its way out of Annie, and then she dies that way. And then Negan has no choice but to put his baby away. To be. I know it sounds kind of ooh, but who knows, right? They might not show it on air. They might not. I mean, like, what I'm saying. I mean, I think that. Well, I don't know. I think the baby. I think Lori's baby, right, died in inside of her, and then she turned into a zombie. Oh no, what am I talking about? If she did, then Judith wouldn't have been born. What am I talking about? But she died because she gave birth to. What do you call that? She gave birth to Judith. This goes to show I'm tired. It goes to show I'm really tired. And I think I said all I can say about this episode. And like I said, overall, I enjoyed it. Like I always enjoyed all these episodes. I think season 11 is definitely one of their best episodes. I mean, definitely one of their best seasons heading towards the end. But anyway, that's my video. So for those of you who stopped by and checked it out, I appreciate it. And in closing, as always, take care.